Hello, welcome. I'm Felicia Horton.
And as always, I'm Jonathan Horton.
This is A Marriage Interrupted. Thank you so much for joining us. Jonathan and I we don't have a medical degree. We're not doctors, PhDs. We do not have any scientific backing to anything we share. We're just a married couple for 33 years that one of us has ADHD and the other just has a bunch of issues that she's working on. And so with that, we've been doing a lot of research and wanted to hopefully reach out to a community to help them and to share in hopes that we can help their journey maybe be easier, or if nothing else, to let them know they're not alone. So today we are going to share how we got to knowing that Jonathan has ADHD. So
I have ADHD.
yes, you do.
I was wondering.
Yes. I sometimes wonder about a lot of things, but here we are. And that truly is what was happening when we got to the point of knowing and learning about ADHD, that Jonathan could have it as an adult. So our marriage, I knew all along that I loved Jonathan, but the signs of ADHD were just growing over time, which left me very much with a lot of self-doubt. And I always made it a priority to know what Jonathan liked to eat and to remember what he told me and to be on time. And if he asked me a favor, to make sure I followed through. And I knew Jonathan loved me, and yet he wasn't doing those things. He would be late. I personally took it as he didn't care to be on time. He would not, our finances were always being, we struggled financially, even though he was always working, and I didn't know why he just couldn't get it together. He's smart, he's talented, what's the problem? And many other things that were coming up that just left me with a lot of self-doubt. So there was a breaking point. We had a situation financially again where Jonathan didn't follow through with making a payment needed. And I had it. I was just done. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't be responsible for myself, my children, and everything he needed to do. And so I was going to leave. The problem is, when you're so in love and you have a family, you don't just walk out. I think it's harder to stay than to walk out sometimes, but it was worth staying. I don't know. Do you think that, were you aware of how bad it was at that point, or?
Well, certainly I knew, but situations around it, unaware of.
As situations around it?
As far as where it was coming from, why was it so difficult? Why is everything so hard?
And how did you feel that when you would make these mistakes or take these steps that would lead down a troubled road, and then I would share with you that I didn't think you loved me, or that I didn't matter enough? How did you feel at that point?
Bad. Sad. Like an idiot sometimes. Like I know what needs to be done, and it just sometimes just didn't get done.
One of the things Jonathan has always said was he always would feel like everyone knew a secret they weren't letting him in on.
I think a lot of people feel that, though.
So I didn't want to just walk out. So I started, I don't even know. I looking back, I have no idea what I thought I was going to find. I got online and I started Googling what I was going to find. I don't know. I was just putting in these things. Why does my husband do this? And, he's always late. He can't remember that I'm, the foods I eat or don't eat, right? And, it's still happening. Bless his heart. Food is one of the things. I'm allergic to almonds. I've been allergic to almonds for a long time. I always get everything with coconut milk. And the other day, John brought home a big bag of almonds and said, "Honey, look what I bought for you." So it continues. So anyway.
They were on sale.
ADHD again. So anyway, so I started Googling, and ADHD came up. I had no idea that adults had ADHD or could have ADHD. So I first learned about ADHD in the 80s, in high school, I think. Do you remember when you first started
No.
hearing about it?
You probably told me about it.
And then later on, and then even what I heard was that it's hyperactivity, procrastination, just restlessness. And then again, when I had children, I homeschooled them, so I didn't hear it as much. But when we were in the adults, the moms and the parents would talk, ADHD came up. But again, it was just pretty much procrastination, um, procrastination, inability to focus, and being very active. So, the question then was, do you put them on medication? Do you not? Those questions were going on. Again, it never would have clicked in a million years that that's what Jonathan had. And if he did, I wouldn't it have come up sooner. So I started reading more and more and more. And in the course of this time, I didn't know how to tell Jonathan. I didn't know what to say. I was afraid to tell him what I found. Was he going to be upset? Was he going to be okay with it? And we had a very bad situation occur and ended up moving from Palm Desert to San Diego. And we were in San Diego, and in my dark late night Googling, I found...
That's what you were doing.
I was looking up ADHD. I found an amazing human being, Dr. Mark Katz, the learning development. I have to make sure I'm saying the right thing there. But so I saw that he has these meetings, these meetings every Monday, and the first Monday of the month is an open forum discussion, and every Monday after that, for the month, is a guest speaker would come in. So that was my strength to go talk to Jonathan. So I did. I was a wreck. I was so worried. So I said, I'm down. I said, Jonathan, I need to talk to you. I said, I think you have ADHD.
I said, just feed me before we go.
No, you did not, because I didn't bring that up. I said, you have ADHD, and you said, I don't have a mental illness. Immediately, that's the first thing you said to me. And I felt like garbage. I felt horrible. My heart just ached, like I just hurt my husband. I hurt him. He's upset, but I couldn't give up on this. It's either we figure this out or marriage ends. Like, if we need to know, does he have ADHD? If he does, we'll fight and we'll work toward it. If he doesn't, then there's no excuse for this. I can't do it anymore. So we talked, and he was hesitant, and he pushed away, and I brought it up again. And months later, Jonathan said, okay, he'd go. So
feed me first.
Feed you first.
Yeah.
I think I fed you first. I hope I fed you first. Anyway, I'm always feeding you, so I must have fed you. So we go to
No,
this
I think
meeting.
we decided we found out where it was, and I knew that there was a Starbucks right down on the corner.
That's right, you're right. That is true. That's that. You actually remember something. So anyway, so we go into this meeting and we sit down, and what did you think?
I felt out of place at first, I think. Looking around at the other people that were there didn't seem like me in my perspective until everybody started talking, having the same kind of problems that we were having, and it all started to make sense, I think, a little bit.
90 minutes of sitting there. For me, it was just click, 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 click. Dr. Katz stands up front. He does this intro. He talks about ADHD, and then he takes questions. He writes them on the board, and then the group goes down in the 90 minutes addressing all these questions, and each one was just click, 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 like, oh my gosh, the hope I was getting, like, okay, this is good. And we just sat, and Jonathan was very quiet. He said nothing the entire time. 90 minutes later, we get up, everyone says goodbye, we leave, we get in the car, silence. John's behind the steering wheel, didn't say a word. My heart was pounding. I was keeping my mouth shut. Didn't start the car, so I'm waiting.
It was a lot to take in.
And he looked at me and he said,
I have ADHD.
I started crying. This is it. Like this was what was going to hopefully save my marriage, and help Jonathan. And that was the beginning. And I have to just shout out, Dr. Katz saved our marriage, because there was no way of going forward without some explanation and the ability to obtain tools to make it
Tools are the most important thing. Tools and exercises that I've learned.
So yeah, so we went back to many meetings over the years. I have to say the tools, the speakers were always very interesting, but I always look forward to that first Monday of the month because I felt like there was support. I felt like Dr. Katz was overseeing the group, and I just felt like he heard and he understood, and he had no agenda outside of supporting and being there for us. And I look forward to those meetings every single Monday.
Why'd we stop going?
Oh, we moved further away, and then it got to be more difficult. And really, if we really are honest about this, you didn't want to go as often. You said at some point you felt that the speakers were going over the same stuff, and you already had the tools, and you really didn't need to do all the meetings every Monday. I still was interested in the tools. I still have on my phone years later in my notes, I would sit there and write down everything that they said to have. And over the years, those things change and have been updated. But
at this point, you could become one of the speakers as much as you've learned.
Well, again, I am not educated outside of my own personal research, and absolutely love the people in the ADHD community and the support that is out there. And we are so looking forward to sharing that with you. All of the things that I have found and learned, we are looking forward to hearing from you all that you have learned. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns on any of this, we are welcoming them open arms in hopes that as a community we continue to grow, to support each other, and to learn more.
And it is it's not fun. I shouldn't say it's not fun, but it's fun learning about the tools and the exercises that can help you from day to day.
Excuse me, I was trying to hold back.
Sneeze on the truth.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm learning a lot, and hopefully everybody else can learn a lot as well.
Yes, so I am Felicia Horton.
And I'm Jonathan Horton.
This is A Marriage Interrupted. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.